Welcome back to Hiking with Kathleen in our fall camping series. In part 3 at Arrowhead Provincial Park, join me as I hike all around Arrowhead Lake to see the fall colors and visit various habitats where the wildlife may surprise you. Later, Shannon, my wife, and I take a water taxi across Lake Opeongo in Algonquin Park. Destination Hailstorm Creek. It's an isolated waterway with lots of serenity, beauty, and challenges. Stay tuned. So I'm out on the trail, not particularly early in the morning, but it's about 8 o'clock and the campground's nice and quiet. It's a Tuesday morning and I'm going to head over to the Beaver Meadow. I loved my sightings when I was there a week or so ago, and now I'm going to go back and see what other wildlife I might find there. Might not be lucky enough to find the northern harrier again, but there might be other things that are going to reveal themselves to me. Beautiful walk. The leaves are gradually changing color. So I've been lingering out here for, about an hour or so. And yes, it's an overcast day, so it may not look as brilliant as the last time I was down here. But aside from seeing a gathering of Canada geese, about 8 or 9 of them, and some swamp sparrows, and hearing some American goldfinches flying by, blue jays, I haven't seen anything really out of the ordinary. So I'm not going to continue along this trail, which brings me into the forest, which is beautiful. I'm going to head back to the main trail that goes around Arrowhead Lake. And there's a bridge that the little East Creek goes under. So I'm going to go and have a look there, and then maybe double back and head back to the site. But anyway, it's just been really peaceful out here. I haven't encountered any other campers. Last time I was out here, it was such a beautiful day that there were other people that were drifting in here at the time I was ready to turn around and leave. So yeah, it's a great place for solitude. So I love it for that reason, and for potentially having some really great sightings. But you know, on an overcast day, things are just a little quieter around here. Okay, onward I go. Okay, so I just came across this on the trail. Yes, it's scat. You can see it's quite large. And it's not a domestic dog. And the way we know that is it's got a ropey appearance with some fur in it. So this scat here is a very large example of a coyote. And I do realize that coyotes in this area, this park is about an hour away from Algonquin Provincial Park, and there is some interbreeding that takes place between coyotes and wolves. And I see a lot of coyote scat back home in southwestern Ontario, and that is a much larger representation. So I'm wondering if this might have been from a coyote that's got some wolf DNA in it. So anyway, what they do is they lay it on a trail, and that marks their trail. That is to let us, canines, others know, other coyotes know, that this territory is taken. So that's what the purpose is of having it in this location. So anyway, that was really cool. It's very fresh, so it was probably left, sometime overnight. So anyway, that's a really cool thing to know that I'm following in the footsteps of a coyote. What I find is interesting is there are a lot of areas where the leaves have not changed color, and then there are some areas where the leaves have fallen off the trees. So anyway, we've got a difference here. Maybe it has to do with the elevation of the trees that are growing at that height. But anyway, we haven't had strong winds or a strong storm, because that oftentimes will finish off the leaves that have already changed color. There's some areas we drive through and the leaves haven't even started to really come into their own as far as fall colors go. So we're just walking through a different area where fall is represented differently as we walk along this pathway. So this is an area that Shannon and I are likely going to paddle with our kayaks. Arrowhead Lake is out that way, and it's very hard to find entrance to this little East Creek. And so what we'll do is we'll find it and we'll continue along here. But there's a lot of bushwhacking involved because it's really grown in, and sometimes we find a beaver dam that we either can or cannot go over. So anyway, that'll come up in the next few days. So as I'm standing on this overlook area or bridge, there's a good amount of foot traffic going on right now. So it might not be that I'll see something moving along the shore, at least not right here where it's visible to people and the animals see us here. But what I look for is signs of life. Just like back on the trail where I saw that scat, sometimes animals are going to leave their signs that they have come across here not that long ago. So I case out the mud that leads to the water, and I see if there's some recent tracks, maybe something from last night or early this morning. or even if it was something from a week ago. If it's still fresh enough that it has retained its shape, that's interesting for me. It gives me an idea of maybe what has traveled through this area, whether it be muskrats, beavers, canines, I don't know. So anyway, this is a really neat area. I'll continue along. It's breathtaking when you see the beauty of the trees that haven't lost their leaves yet. I was surprised at how many of these trees have already lost their leaves without, big winds and big storms. But they're at a lower elevation, and the ones at a higher elevation seem to be hanging on to them a lot longer. So that's good for us, those of us who want to film that kind of beauty. All right. Well, time to move on. So I'm just at the beach now at Lumbee Campground. I didn't think I was going to go all the way around, but it seems like I'm committed to it now. And over here is where there is an entrance to that. It's a very small entrance to the Little East River that goes under the bridge that I walked by, about a half an hour ago. So anyway, I can see there's a few people out that are paddling around right now, and that's a neat thing. It is overcast, but it doesn't feel like it's going to open up. We're supposed to have rain this afternoon, so that was kind of what my goal was, to get back before then. But I mean, it's just beautiful being able to look at the sky and, the unusual aspects of a cloudy sky, and then that's the backdrop to the beautiful colors of the trees right now. So I'll just let you take that in. So I'm back at my site now. I'm just going to take a quick shortcut here to get onto my site. Just finished doing the entire Arrowhead Lake Trail. So number of steps, about 12,000. I just checked my watch before coming on, and so that was great. I'm really glad that I did that. And if you want to know for mileage, it would say 8 kilometers. That's how long the distance is. Yeah, because it says, see, I went partway out to the beaver pond or the beaver meadow, and then I double backed. So that added a little bit more than what they say is like a 5-kilometer trek. Anyway, I'm now going to relax for the afternoon. Well, good morning. So today, Shannon and I are going to go on a paddling adventure for 4 hours. And we are now at the Opeongo Lake Store, and we're going to the Hailstorm Creek. We're going to go there by water taxi. So today, the weather is such that we have a 30% chance of rain, which is ranging at about 100% right now. So she's gone inside in order to get us all checked in. and we have our gear. Everything's in waterproof bags. So we just parked in the parking lot. It took us about an hour and a half to get here from Arrowhead Campground, and that's because this is close to the east entrance, so we had to travel all the way through the park. It was actually a beautiful drive, and it was mostly with no rain. But anyway, that has changed in the last, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. So this is what we're going to do now. So Shannon's coming out here, and we're going to get ready to probably load up the water taxi and go from here.
Okay, we're leaving right at 8, and we're leaving there, and I don't have my paddle. So,
Okay.
I gotta run.
So we went to the Swift Canoe store just a couple days ago, and Shannon bought herself an awesome paddle. Very lightweight, and she bought it in preparation for this trip. So she's going to go up to the truck and get her paddle, and then we're going to be boarding right at 8 o'clock. And then that gets us out to our spot, I guess probably about 20 minutes later, and then we get about 3 hours out on the water, and we're really excited about that. The rain isn't good for lenses because it just leaves everything wet on a fairly regular basis. But anyway, I'm just hoping it doesn't deter the wildlife. If there's a snake, then I'm a snake. I'm a herpetologist.
So with your hats, with yours, I'd recommend, yeah, you got the strap. With yours, it'll be fine as long as you can zip up your jacket all the way and then do the cinch up as well.
Okay.
Because the wind's just going to try to pull your hood off, and if it gets your hood, it's going to get your hat next.
Perfect.
Okay, so we got dropped off at this island. There goes our water taxi. So he drops off the canoe, carries it to the other side of the island, and then all of our gear is here too. So I took one of the paddles that comes with Algonquin Outfitters. Shannon bought herself, as I say, this spiffy paddle. And now we're just loading up our canoe. We were riding along with another person on the boat who is on her day off. She's another guide, so we know that she'll be up Hailstorm Creek a little ahead of us. Okay, so we are going to be on our way. Okay. I'm not doing anything. Yeah, so this canoe is a lot tippier than what we're used to. Like when we're in the kayaks, we're sitting very low to the ground. And so you know what I'm going to do? I am going to sit on my knees. Okay? And the reason is because it's a Swift canoe and it's very streamlined. So, all right. Well, we'll see how much videography we can get done here. But I'll tell you, it is beautiful out here. It's not great that it's raining because the lenses don't like that. But anyway, we'll see what we can find. We're heading over to Hailstorm Creek. So we're just sort of parking ourselves right now because we did have a chance to see what might have been otters. I saw a couple. Shannon says she saw 4. And the people who were bringing us out to this location said that some days you'll see 2, some days you'll see 7. So we're hoping we might have a chance to see them resurface because once I got my good camera out, naturally they disappeared. So we're just sort of waiting it out right now. Having this ongoing rain, as much as it's not cold out, has been challenging because it means that nothing stays ready for videography. The lenses have to be cleaned, and I just dug through my gear in order to find a cloth. But that makes it a little bit challenging. And of course, everything has to stay in a dry bag because These canoes are tippier than this canoe is tippier than we had become accustomed to. So, but anyways, very beautiful, peaceful, and of course no motorboats are allowed in this area, just where we were dropped off. So we're just pausing out here. Had a chance to see a very large beaver lodge. But as far as seeing wildlife, we've seen birds of prey, eagles, other hawks that I wasn't able to identify because I didn't have a chance to get my binoculars on them. But it's just a neat environment back here. And on the right day, I bet there'd be lots of wildlife to be seen. But when we have a 3-hour thing, it feels like you're a little bit in a rush, a time crunch, because you have to keep your eye on the time so that you can get back to your water taxi. But that's okay. We're enjoying ourselves out here and enjoying the slowdown in the rain right now. Okay. Just move your puppy out of the way, okay? Because you don't need to damage it. Uh-oh. So we're heading back now because we still have to do the portage over the beaver pond. and then we still have to paddle and do the portage over the island. So it's great now because there isn't rain, but the weather has been very, very mild the whole time, so that's been great. But with rain comes having to clean lenses all the time or risking poor shots. So anyway, I didn't get to film any of the otters. We got to see one on our way back, and but that's okay. It was just a really pretty area to get back into, that you really couldn't do it unless you had a boat dropping you off here, or unless you were spending a lot of time paddling around in these smaller lakes of Algonquin Park. So we're going to make our way back and see how we measure up as far as, this will probably be a lot faster than getting out, because I don't have to set up my cameras. My cameras are already set up. I'm taking them down from their positions. These two will be a lot easier. Okay, well, that beaver dam is in view, so we'll be there in about 2 minutes, ready to get out and move the canoe over again. Okay, stop. Yeah, what I saw ahead were moving pond levels. Oh, I didn't realize that's what we were doing. Okay. Oh gosh, just be careful when you go bending. Where'd it go? Oh, shoot, it's getting caught down. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna kneel down because you're a tippy lady. You're one to talk. I'm just getting low now, but you're not doing anything to facilitate that, lady. You're sitting up high, bringing our center of gravity up high.
I'm not kneeling. I got a puddle of water on me.
Yeah, that's what I'm kneeling in.
Well, I'm not doing it. This is also a narrow canoe. Don't dismiss me.
I just think that you do what you have to do, and I've been on my knees a lot during this trip. You just do what you have to do. That's all. Actually, the water's nice out here. Oh, look at
the little squirrel running along the shore on the right. The little red squirrel. Just keep an eye out for rocks. It's not easy on the knees.
I know people have been seeing them recently, a bull and two calf, sorry, a cow and a calf. But every time I've gone up, I haven't seen them yet.
Yep, so this is our little island, our pickup point. Cormorants hang out here. And yet it's called Gull Island.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the cormorants have sort of moved out though. They're more in the south arm there at the weather station.
Okay. All right.
And kind of just on the east side of it.
It's been taken over by the gulls. The cormorants can't live there anymore. So we're looking at their weather station where all the cormorants tend to hang out. So we finished up at the Opeongo Lake store and we had our lunch there. And so now what we're doing is we're just passing by the Algonquin Visitor Center and we see that there's a few buses here. So it's going to be busy in there. We just happen to know that. But that's okay. We just we're interested in going to the Visitor Center. We've already been through the exhibits. We go through them pretty well. Every year we're here. We didn't come last year, but we go through them each year. So yeah, we'll just see if there's anything that we might want to look at their store. Okay, we made out like bandits. We just picked up a couple of things. I had a couple of postcards. You picked up a book.
Yeah,
So
nothing big.
But anyway, we got past all those tour buses that were in there and we waited them out is what we did. Anyway, it's a place that we love to spend time. So we did that again today. So we're back at our site and, you know, had a little bit of dinner. So overall, our day at Algonquin, we just wish the rain had sort of changed shifts from being a morning rain when we were out paddling to pretty well it cleared up around 11 o'clock. And that was the time we were getting picked up by our water taxi. But I have to say that the scenery out there is beautiful. When you're being driven along by the water taxi, the boat that got us out there, which was from Opeongo Outfitters in conjunction with Algonquin Outfitters. So they work together on that. Anyway, the people who were working, they are so happy with their jobs. I have to tell you, we had a guy named Eric who brought us to the island, which is what starts your adventure, and it's about a 20-25 minute boat ride. And then Matt is the one who picked us up. They were such nice guys, and you could just feel like their enthusiasm. There was a young woman that was with us, but that's because she was on a day off, and she was a guide that was on her day off that wanted to get out there and paddle and, you know, see the animals that she doesn't normally get to see when she's leading a group. So anyway, it's something to consider. If you're ever looking for a job that is in the outdoors, oh my God, it sounds like a great thing, because then they have housing that's right there on site, and they seem to all get along really well. They're young people. The young woman, she's been at it for 9 years. I didn't ask the guys how long they'd been at it, but you know, some of them start off as students. Anyway, it's a great way to be in an outdoor type of job. But yeah, so the beauty was wonderful. Because of the rain, it was just very difficult to have clean film, you know, to be able to show you the beauty of it without having little water splatter all over the lens. But anyway, then what I'll do is I'll pass the microphone over to Shannon and just see if she has something different. The one thing I should mention is this is for people who are capable of lifting a canoe and things like that. The water taxi dropped our canoe off on this island. We moved it over to the other side of the island. It is a very, very tiny island. And that's because it's too close for the boat to get, well, they couldn't drop you off somewhere any closer because there's rocks and shallow water and things like that. So then we had to move all of our gear and then put the canoe back in the water on the other side. And then as we were meandering along through Hailstorm Creek, they told us in advance that there was going to be a beaver dam that we had to, again, portage over. So you're only going over it, but you have to be able to get out of a canoe, not wipe out if possible, and put your canoe on the other side. So anyway, you have to be capable. It's not just a passive type thing. I mean, obviously we were paddling too, but you have some carrying around of your gear to do. Okay, we'll just take a moment and I'm going to pass the microphone over to Shannon.
Yeah, there was pieces of it I liked as well. Like I liked the boat ride on the way home. That was nice. I really he took us to that cormorant
Gull Island.
Gull Island, and it had all these bare trees with these cormorant nests all in them.
With cormorant icing.
All spackled. And then the weather station on this little rock, same thing. That was nice. And that's not part of the tour. Eric suggested we did this, and the other guy that picked us up, Matt, he followed through with Eric's request, and yeah, so that was fantastic. And we weren't pelted with rain on the way back. I guess seeing the river otters. At first I thought, is it a beaver? But it was like whack-a-mole. You see these heads going up, and I knew they sort of had similarity to muskrats, but much bigger. And I thought, those are the river otters. So that was neat to see, but I mean, they're so fast. By the time Kathleen got her camera, I mean, it's almost impossible. I gotta say, being with a videographer for a YouTube content creator, it can be stressful for the tag along too. Kathleen's trying to get this fantastic footage for you folks. And yeah, it's challenging. It can be very challenging as a result with the experience. Weather doesn't always cooperate, and camera gear doesn't always cooperate. So I can tell you from behind the scenes, it was a challenging day. But I'm sure, we can look back on that and we'll appreciate, bits and pieces of the experience that we had today.
Our final fall camping episode, Part 4, promises to deliver unbelievable beauty as we visit Oxtongue Rapids, Tea Lake, Stubbs Falls, and Oxtongue River Ragged Falls Provincial Park, where an injury occurred that may sideline this channel. Join us next week.